It is often said that bioethics emerged out of the ashes of the Holocaust as a reactive response to the abrogation of ethics and the abuse of power on the part of the medical profession. The systematic participation of physicians, those who took an oath to first do no harm, in the labeling, persecution, and eventual mass murder of millions of those deemed unfit during the Holocaust, represents the only example of medically sanctioned genocide in history. To say that the Holocaust was an instance of medicine gone mad is to ignore the ethical beliefs that allowed those sworn to the Hippocratic tenet of healing to become killers. The first segment of our program explores the foundations of Nazi medicine.
Most people think of the role of physicians relating to the Holocaust about medical experiments in concentration camps. If were only medical experiments in concentration camps, its impact would be limited. The participation of physicians was far more broad and far more deeply problematic. Let's go through one simple example that may describe a much larger pattern. Students of the Holocaust understand the first to be gassed were not Jews. The first to be gassed were physically infirm, emotionally distraught, congenitally ill Germans. In order to kill them, they had to be identified in all of the major psychiatric institutions. Physicians had to sign off on the fact that they were, quotation marks, life unworthy of living, or something called useless eaters. And that is that these people were consuming the resources that should be available to the young, vibrant, vital Germans. Why were they targeted for destruction? They were targeted destruction, first of all, because they were an embarrassment to the myth of Aryan supremacy. And secondly, they were targeted because they were consuming resources that could be best utilized by a society to develop those who were the best and the brightest, the fittest, the most worthy. And consequently, they were eliminated. There were 6 different killing centers, and the killing itself went from passive means like starvation to active means by the use of sedatives, and finally it culminated in the use of gas chambers. Now, who participated in that? One would have to say virtually the entire German psychiatric community. There are also 28 institutes of racial science, staffed by reputable scientists, founded at some of the great universities of Germany, all of them seeking to use science to verify the German claim that the Germans were a member of the master race, that there were inferior races, and that Jews, again, were deemed as not only life unworthy of living as for the Germans of special needs, but Jews were deemed a cancer on the body politic. The medical metaphor legitimated the entire process of murder and destruction of the Jews, presuming that the Jews were a cancer on society, and consequently you were healing by killing. The elimination of the Jews was to bring about the salvation, the redemption of the German people.